Boys, it's Chinned. UFC 325 wrapped up the other day. I was at a fuck ass wedding and I wasn't able to cover it right away like I usually do. So here we go, a little late, but I went 6-4 on my picks. I didn't pick any of these. The Aaron Tao fight that I cared about got canceled, so fuck me. This was a robbery. This Ejaw fight here. This was I don't even understand how this got scored for Khan, but I also don't really give a shit. Oban Elliott got submitted again or dominated on the ground again, which I'm not crazy surprised about, but I don't know how it keeps happening to him. I mean, he's like a really good fighter, at least on the feet. And Mikhailov is an okay, subpar kind of prospect that is meant to be a stepping stone for a guy like Oban. So crazy finish, but I'm surprised that that happened, honestly. And then I don't even want to talk about this. I was so confident about Torres Finney. This fucking retard. I don't even want to talk about this fight. Torres Finney is such a fucking idiot. He doesn't know how to strike, which is crazy. You'd think with at least 10 fights in your pro career, you know how to throw a punch or at least slip a punch. He got teed off on for 3 rounds. The only thing that he showed was he has chin, but even then, I don't think you want to show that against fucking Jacob Malkoon. Like Cam Roston, um, looked good, I guess. Cody Brundage is, he's a can. Roston looked good, but he took a lot of strikes at the beginning, and then he just started fucking banging his head in. I don't really know what else to say. This was a good fight, I guess. Cody Brundage is low key exciting because he just has like the potential to just go at it and start slinging, but he typically doesn't win those. Um, Junior Tafa looked good for a round, and then got subbed. What's new? That's the Tafa formula. This happens to both of them every single time. Billy Elikana, I don't think is like anything crazy. Um, he's had a couple like subpar performances, a couple wins at this point where he's looked a little bit less than what he needs to look like, but he ends up winning anyway. Um, Good sub though, I guess, considering he basically got flatlined in the first round. That was pretty crazy. Um, Not a very impressive win though. Now we get on to the main card. Jamie Malarkey should retire. I like Jamie Malarkey, but he's fucking dog shit. And Quillen by sub is fucking. He's really good. He's really good. He's subbing people now. I know he's got a lot of subs already, but he's subbing people now in the UFC. So he's a full package. He's got crazy KO power. He's got crazy techniques. And now he's subbing people as easily as he subs Jamie Malarkey. This is maybe the number one prospect in the UFC right now. I'm sure there's a few others. Like I'm really high on Kevin Vallejos, Yadier Delvi, but Quillen's good. Quillen's really good. He's right up there with some of the best prospects in the sport right now. Tai Tuivasa versus Tom. Um, wow, Rafael Fiziev got put out. Rafael Fiziev got put out. Oh my god. Mauricio Hoofy. I don't know why the stats aren't popping up, but Mauricio Hoofy is fucking him. This guy is so fucking fun to watch. And he put out Fiziev. I believe the last person to put him out like that was Mustafayev in Fiziev's debut. But that was a fluke, and Fiziev would beat him 9 times out of 10. Like that was just a complete fluke. This is the first time we've seen Fiziev really put out, especially against high level competition. And wow, wow. Thoughts on this are Fiziev needs to move down first and foremost. Way too big, way too small. Sorry for the division. Way too small, and just his punches don't do anything. If I remember correctly, his only knockouts in this division, at least recently, semi recently, I should say, are Moicano, which was years and years and years ago. This was before the Money Moicano gimmick. And that was low key a bad stoppage. And Rafael Dos Anjos in the fifth round of a draining main event. And that's Old Man Dos Anjos. That's fifth round Dos Anjos. And that as well was not the greatest stoppage, but I was all right with it. Um, those are Fiziev's only impressive KOs. And in a division like this, that have, you've had your fair share of Poiriers and Tonys, and you got Gaethje still in there. You got Charles, who hits very fucking hard. Ilya, of course. I mean, and now Hoofy, and you're getting knocked out like that. The damage is mounting up as well. He's been through the wars. I want to see Fiziev down at 45 right away. He was supposed to do it before this fight, and then he booked it out of nowhere. That was very weird. But Fiziev should move down 100%. Now Hoofy, holy shit. I picked Hoofy by decision. I didn't think he'd be able to knock Fiziev out. Or I knew he'd be able to, but I just didn't think it would happen. I'm not used to seeing Fiziev out. He's got such a crazy chin, especially in those Gaethje fights. I didn't expect it, but holy shit! I want to see Hoofy. I don't want to say in a top 5 fight, but like a fight against Patty would low key be fire. A fight against Dan Hooker would be awesome because it would just be striking 100% of the time. Even though I think he'd do Dan dirty. Uh, Dan's a dog. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Man, just the lightweight division continues having the most exciting strikers in the sport. Hoofy is going to be big if he can keep this up. That was a huge win. The only problem is people like Benoit, who I'll talk about in a second, like Hoofy doesn't look like he has the best takedown defense, but he was going into that fight, that Benoit fight, with a really, really crazy fight week, where his brother died. So you know what? I'm going to give him a pass on that. Hopefully he comes back and proves us wrong in a big top 5 fight. And now we have Dan Hooker versus Benoit. And I'm not gonna lie, I was low key thinking in my last video of like, okay, do I start this off and just like say I'm picking Dan Hooker, I'm switching my pick. I was low key leaning Dan Hooker. But my original pick was Benoit by finish. Um, I'm just gonna be a dick about it and say I picked Benoit by finish, and that was fucking easy for Big Benoit, man. No, I'm kidding. Dan looked like he was gonna fucking smoke Benoit after that first round. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Dan's body kicks are insane. I'd like completely overlooked the fact that those that would probably play a huge factor against a guy like Benoit who kind of just doesn't have any defense at all and is low key soft. Like Benoit is the most body kickable guy on the fucking rankings. You can't tell me after that fight that he's not. Like it took like 4 before he started wilting. It looked like Dan was on his way to TKOing him. But Benoit's a fucking dog, I guess. I mean, we knew that he was a dog, but I just didn't think he'd be able to outdog Dan Hooker, who's like the dog in the division. Um, he just took him down and started bashing his head in. And Herb had money on Benoit by murder, like actually killing Dan Hooker. And yeah, I don't know what the fuck that stoppage was. Loki ruined the fight, but the fight was insane. I think this should have been fight of the night. Maybe I'm retarded because I was in a fucking reception hall when I was watching this, but this was an insane fight. They ended up giving it to this fuck ass main event over here. This was one of the most boring title fights I've watched in a long time. It was meaningless as shit. And it held the division back by 6 to 12 months. Now we have to wait another 4 or 5 months for Old Man Volk to get another title fight where he likely will be facing one of, if not the hardest opponent that he's fought in his title defense history. Um, Other than Ilya, I guess. Yeah, this is outlooks bleak for Big Volk, but I'm happy he won. My pick was Lopes by flatline murder. I'm happy I was wrong about that because, in all honesty, I didn't want to see Volk get put out. I just had a bad feeling he would. I mean, all the stats, at least from what I was looking at, were kind of pointing towards Volk getting put out here. But Lopez broke both of his feet apparently and just decided to fucking do nothing, which I guess we'd all do if we broke both of our feet in there with Volk. But still, a terrible fight. Not much to say, other than Volk's jab looked insane as usual. His head movement looked better than it has in a long time, honestly. Even in the first fight, he got clipped up a few times. This time, he got dropped once, but it was like, it was just a fucking little light hook. He ate it super well. I'm surprised. I heavily underrated Volk's ability to move at the rate that he does at this age, and this was, I believe, the oldest title defense, the oldest champion's title defense in the history of these lower weight classes. Um, Super impressive. He's continuing to set records for people of his age. First round, he was jabbing him up. Second round, bit of the same thing. Um, I scored the fight 49-45, 46, sorry, for Volk. And yeah, Lopez really, in my opinion, only took the round that he dropped Volk in, which I believe was the third. I don't know. The fight was so boring that I wasn't paying that much attention to it, honestly. Um, but yeah, just Volk jabbing him up from the outside, which I thought would happen. Like I knew he'd be jabbing him up. That's his thing. He's one of the best technical strikers. He might be the best technical striker in the history of the sport at this point, and he's borderline top five. He might even be top five all time. He's easily the greatest featherweight of all time. Ties Jose Aldo's title defense record with 8 title wins, which is unbelievable. Um, yeah, Volk, as usual, is one win away from making all time great history and probably being in the top 4 or 5 greatest fighters all time concrete on everybody's GOAT list. Um, Insane. Insane that he keeps doing it. It's a shame that this is the fight that Sydney got though, because I mean, what was the point? What was the point of this fight? Sure, Unk still got it, but what was the point? We wanted to see Volk versus an up and coming contender like Lerone Murphy or Evloev. And they made this fight. And what did we learn? We learned nothing. Um, that's it. That's it. The featherweight title picture is now put back by 6 to 12 months because that's how long it takes for Volk to fight, as I said before. And now we wait for hopefully a much better booking. Uh, that's it. Pay per view overall, it was really good, honestly, action wise, until the main event. I'll give it a 6.7 out of 10. And next week, we're looking at a great fight night in the fucking Apex for some reason. And I will be coming out with my picks on that soon. See you guys later.